arts with a broadcast media and public relations concentration. He was a member of the Madisonians, Baptist Student University, InterVarsity Fellowship, and InterHall Council. Greg's wife, Donna, is a 1983 graduate, and his daughter, Perrin, is a member of the JMU class of 2014. Greg is also a current member of the JMU Parents Council. Greg?
Thank you very much, Jamie. I can't tell you what a great honor it is for me to be here today. This beautiful setting and this beautiful place that many of us are so endeared to. My wife Donna is not here. We were here on Monday, moving in our daughter, who is actually helping more freshmen move in today, but I think she's here for a while. Perrin, you want to raise your hand back there? Put her to work after this if you need to. We were here on Monday. I flew to Chicago, did meetings yesterday, flew back in last night, hoping that there was ground to stand on at Dulles. Pretty nervy times there. But when I stopped to assess what it would mean for me in terms of legacy, I have no great legacy here at JMU. I was not a stellar athlete. I was an okay student. But like many of you who are here as alumni, and those of you who are now coming to JMU, you will, like I, come to love this place. And that love will be infectious, and I think that will continue to propel JMU forward and forward. When I was contemplating where I would start with my story, I was thinking about this picnic for us last year. At the conclusion of this picnic, we said goodbye to our daughter. I thought, well, I'm not going to start with the sad story first, even though it's very happy for her. When I was looking back into my family's history, I grew up in Winchester. My father is the youngest of 16 children. His oldest sister was actually in one of the first graduating classes from the State Normal School for Women, now known as JMU, back in the early 1900s. So we're in the 100th anniversary of alumni at JMU, so almost 100 years ago is the beginning of my familial legacy. But for me, I was endeared to JMU early on in the process. I showed up on a fall day in 1979. My parents are both educators. They were not able to accompany me to the first day of school, so my cousin, who had just graduated the previous May, was very helpful in getting me acclimated. I lived in Eikenberry my first couple of months of school. I had not so great a roommate situation. And as fate or irony would have it, my room change was actually signed off on in Alumni Hall by a gentleman named Linwood Rose. So that's been a little while ago, and Dr. Rose has certainly aspired to bigger and better things, and I wouldn't even have to walk my cart across campus now with eCampus and so forth. When our daughter Perrin decided to come here, we like many of you, came to a Choices event. And at Choices, I happened to run into an old acquaintance of mine in the Lelu Alumni Center. One of my first jobs out of JMU was recruiting for another university. My heart wasn't in it, so I didn't stay there very long. But on the road, I met a gentleman by the name of Steve Smith. Where's Steve? I saw him. There's Steve back there. Steve works in constituent relations for JMU. We got reacquainted at that day at Choices, and he mentioned to me, you know, Greg, you might want to consider being on the Parents Council. And I was like, what does the Parents Council do? And he explained some of the procedures and meetings that the Parents Council has. And he said they also feed you very well. So I was like, I'm all over it. So my wife and I have enjoyed serving on the Parents Council. For those of you who might be interested, I encourage you to explore that and support the Office of Parent Relations however best you can. When I was at JMU, one of the activities that I was primarily involved with, and took about 30 to 40 hours a week of my time, was with a group of performing troupe at the time known as the Madisonians. The Madisonians were probably the premier performing troupe on campus, in existence for about 26 years, and were funded through the University Relations Department, not the music department, solely for recruiting, public relations tool for the university. We toured high schools, did concerts in high schools and venues all up and down the East Coast. It was really one of my richest experiences. There was 18 singers and dancers, 10-piece band, big crew that traveled. When I was thinking about the word legacy in the context of my experience with the Madisonians, I looked at my castmates and I thought, wow, there's some legacy to come out of this Virginia. One of the keyboardists for our group was a fellow named Perry Sharp, who is now the music director for Donna Summer, has also been the music director for Wynonna Judd. The guitarist in our group, Keith Howland, is the premier lead guitarist and singer with Chicago and has been for quite some time. And my roommate on tour, whenever we toured, they put us in hotel rooms, usually 4 to a hotel room. If we were in a guest home, it was 2 to a room. Was a fellow by the name of Bill Bassett, who actually has gone on to be quite a country music phenomenon, a successful songwriter, has still endears himself quite a bit to JMU, comes back for concerts. My kids always like to say my dad slept with Bill Bassett, but I think that's like the right nomenclature to use. So that's part of my JMU legacy, and I know that each and every one of you has your stories that you'll look forward to sharing as your children go through school. After this picnic last year, we parted ways with our daughter Maren, and about 10 miles down 81, my sunglasses on for sure, tears just started to roll down my cheeks. I looked in my rearview mirror and saw our other daughter Morgan crying, and I looked over to my right and saw my wife Donna with tears down her cheeks. And they were tears, of course, all kinds of tears. Tears of joy, excitement, sorrow for the way that life would never be really how it had been up to that point. But I can tell you that my daughter has had an extremely wonderful year here. And I look forward to hearing your stories along the same lines. I was at a reception this past spring in Virginia Beach with Dr. Rose and some of the folks from the alumni office and development office. And at that reception at the home of our dear friends Jay and Carol Flynn was a wonderful couple, Dick and Shirley Roberts, who live in Virginia Beach. My wife and I had a chance to talk with the Roberts and learn a little bit of their story, their legacy at JMU. Shirley Roberts was a 1956 graduate of JMU. Her husband Dick went to the Naval Academy and then graduated from Harvard Graduate School, Business School. And they came to Shirley's 50th class reunion in 2006. They saw amongst them all these JMU students who were so vivacious, thrilled with being at JMU, the enthusiasm, the vigor. Everyone that Dick and Shirley talked to said, I absolutely love JMU. Well, that spurred them on to make quite a gift to JMU. Dick, in Shirley's honor, donated $1 million on the Shirley Hansen Memorial Hall at the new Forbes Center Concert Hall. It's a beautiful hall. If you haven't seen it yet, I encourage you to see it. It's really one of the premier concert halls in America. It's really on the East Coast. At the end of our conversation there at the reception, I said to them, thank you so much for your gift to JMU, for your legacy that you're continuing to build. The Roberts turned to me and said, thank you for what you're doing for your daughter. So I'll leave you with that story saying, have a happy legacy at JMU while you're here. Thank you very much for this honor.
Woo! Thank you.
Thank you, Greg. Now I would like to